Okay. We should be back and better than ever. Basically what I have done is I've done this before where I've connected my phone to my computer, but I've done it all wired before. But I'm trying it wirelessly now. So now I'm not using the Mac at all, and I'm just using my actual gaming PC, this is what I should have done to begin with, but I didn't think it would work very well. Since I'm all the way over here and the computer's all the way over there on the other side of the room, but we will see. I'm pulling up the stream still on my Mac so I can see it. Let's see how this is. It looks good. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna keep this up so I can see chat and I can see how the stream is doing. But it looks like this is gonna be a much better experience, which is good. All right. I do want to pull up just on the other computer the stream real quick. So let me do that real quick. Or actually, I could probably just pull it up on my iPad. That might be good. This should work. Good enough. Good on that. Okay, all right, I'm happy with that. All right, I'm coming back. Feel good about everything. Feel good about how the stream looks. I do wish I could monitor myself. I'm just using the microphone on my, oh, hold on one second. There we go. I'm just using the microphone from my phone because that was just going to be the easiest solution for the moment. The only thing is I can't mute myself from over here, so you're going to hear everything now, but maybe that's not such a bad thing. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm pretty much done with what I wanted to do on the inside of the system itself. There's a couple spots that probably could use some more cleaning up, but I'm honestly not too worried about that. It was mostly the outside that I wanted to get looking nicer. So I'm gonna set aside that part of the system for a moment. And I'm gonna focus on this part of the shell. There's just some gunk here that can probably get cleaned up quite a bit. So let's do that. Yeah, as you can see, my grate here is a little malformed. But I feel like that happens to a lot of GameCubes. I don't know. All right, I hope this isn't too loud. I have to use the air compressor. I don't know if you would call it an air compressor, air duster, whatever you want to call it. I have to use this real quick. It's pretty loud, so hopefully it's not too loud for the stream, but we'll see. I use that to dust, but I also use it to just dry things out after I've gone through and used the solution on them. All of this stuff that I'm using is the exact same stuff that I use at GameStop to clean systems. I just find that it works well for the most part. Obviously, some people have different experiences with getting systems from GameStop, but you know, if the employee knows what they're doing and they clean everything right, then you know, you shouldn't have too much of an issue. But obviously at GameStop, they don't go into the system like this because that would be underpaid people not trained on how to do this, opening up a system. That would be bad. That would be very bad. So they don't do this. They just clean the outside and call it a day, which for a lot of stuff is fine. Like for a lot of systems, really most of the dirtiness collects on the outside, and then yeah, there's some dust and stuff that builds up on the inside. But for most things, it's not that bad. I'm gonna use this again real quick. There we go. So I'm happy with that. That looks good to me. It's mostly dry. I'm just gonna set everything together and let it dry for a little bit before I plug it back in. But that should be good. I'm just gonna let those two parts sit for the last little bit here. I don't think there's really, I could clean this a little bit actually. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's some spots here that I can get cleaned up. So yeah, let me get this guy cleaned up real quick. It's not too much to do. I think I'm gonna unscrew this part real quick. I can't find the cap for this, which is unfortunate because this thing is sharp. But let me see if it's under this rag here. Nope. Maybe I left it inside my Fix-It kit? I don't know. Yeah. Oh, it's on the floor. Okay, that makes sense. It probably blew off. There we go. All right. I actually did need my screwdriver. Oops. There we go. Yeah, this definitely needs some cleaning. Okay. I'm gonna set that aside for the moment. Yeah, I'm not going to be retrobriting anything. You know, I've seen, there's a video that came out a while ago that was talking about how retrobriting your system can actually cause it to yellow more. and can just cause, you know, other issues, the plastic becoming more brittle and all that kind of stuff. Just using all those harsh chemicals on this plastic actually doesn't do very much good to it. So honestly, like just leaving it like this is totally fine, and just cleaning it up honestly makes it look so much better. Obviously it would be great if it was still, you know, its original color, but it's not too big of an issue. I'm gonna use the duster again real quick. Boom, look at that. It's so much nicer. Get in this little crevice real quick. All right, like I said, I'm gonna leave pretty much most of my parts just out until it kind of all dries off. Actually going to use a little bit of my solution on this. There we go. Much better. Oh, sorry, my head was in the way. All right, I'm gonna blow this out. Yeah, so this was actually my first soldering job here. I don't know if you'll really be able to see, but this right here was my first soldering job. These 2 points right here, because I needed to replace the battery in my GameCube. So those 2 points for this battery holder. It's not perfect. It's not the most clean, but it worked, and I'm pretty proud of myself for being able to do that. So yeah, I'm happy with it. So okay, I'm gonna leave this stuff out for a little bit, let it dry. But that's pretty much it for the GameCube. Let me actually go through. I'm gonna change the title here. Sure, yeah. That works. All right, let me go find something else to clean and see what I can do. All right. I knew that my Super Nintendo NSO controller needed to be cleaned a little bit. It's not too bad, but it just got a little dirty from a couple super long play sessions. So I'm gonna get this guy cleaned up. And this is like a much more like accurate use case of how I would clean something at GameStop, because this is just a controller. Just get in there, get a nice cursory kind of cleaning going on. Go ahead and dry that part out. Yeah, since I do that off to the side, you can't really see, but so much water comes up from around like the D-pad and stuff, and it's just dirty water that just comes out. So that's why I blow dry this stuff, because if not, all that water, that dirty water will just kind of sit in there and then it'll stay dirty. That way you're kind of blowing out that dirty water that you've just put in there. Yeah, back here is pretty dirty. I've got a GameCube controller that's really bad that I could probably work on. I don't know how much I'll really be able to do for it, but I can get it cleaner at least. Ooh, yeah, and there it's real bad. So let me go ahead and just dry this part off back here. See, a part of my problem is that I sweat a lot when I play games. Just holding the controller just makes my hands sweat. So these like crevices get filled with gunk. And there's definitely a decent amount of gunk on these. So let's see what we can do. Sometimes just going through with the bristles, yeah, can like knock some of that stuff out. It's kind of gross, but this is my hand gunk. It's worse when it's other people's hand gunk. When you're cleaning stuff at GameStop, definitely is gross. And then I also use like my iFixit tweezers, because these are super, super thin. So these can get in there and really pull some of this stuff out. Kind of gets it free. Yeah, look at all that. Gross. Ew. All right. Let me get this a little bit more wet. All right, and then up here is a little dirty as well. We'll get that. Boom, just like that. It is pretty much good as new. Much cleaner. And yeah, if you're curious, you don't know, this is the solution I use. I don't know if this company is still in business because it was super hard for me to get a hold of one of these bottles. It was like I had to go through 3 different companies. The only one that I could find that actually had one of these was like a local business that still had some, but these might not be in production anymore. I don't know, but I was able to still get my hands on some. This is what GameStop uses, but it seems like we can't order them anymore either. So I think they may be out of business. Their website is gone, so whatever. Yeah, that's the Super Nintendo controller done. I'll go grab, I think I'll grab my other Super Nintendo controller, and then I'll grab the GameCube controller I was talking about. Yeah, this one can definitely use it as well. Yeah, this guy's bad, but not too bad. this has got some gunk up and around where the buttons are. I wonder if I can get in there with my little pick, because this is a super tight crease, but I think I might be able to get in there. Yeah. I just don't like, the only thing I don't like the metal for is it does risk scratching the plastic if I am not careful. So I do try to avoid that. Some of that I may not be able to really clean that well, just because I don't really want to take this guy apart, and I don't even know if I did take it apart, how much I would really be able to get in this plastic, because I feel like this whole front piece is its own piece, you know? So I don't know how much of that I'll really be able to get to do, but whatever. All right, up here is pretty bad too, so we'll get that. I'm gonna try and show you this. I just don't want to blow a bunch of stuff away, but. I kind of focused on the blower instead of the controller, but you can kind of see. Yeah, now these buttons press so much better because there was just gunk in there holding them in. It's nice. All right, I'm gonna go through with this real quick just to loosen some of this stuff up. This controller has probably never been cleaned in its life. This is not my childhood Super Nintendo or Super Nintendo controller. bought this off of someone from Facebook, because my original Super Nintendo that I had growing up was actually my uncle's. So he, it was his, and at some point he ended up giving it to someone else. Unfortunately, I didn't know he was doing it at the time. If I had known, I would have told him to give it to me, because I definitely would have wanted it. But, you know, it is what it is. It was his, although I think it was gifted. It was gifted to him by my aunt, so his sister. But it is what it is. I ended up getting this one off of Facebook, and it works great. So not too big of a deal. Need to get into this spot a little bit better. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. That turned out much better than I thought it would. Very clean. Very happy with that. Okay. I'm just gonna run the rag through the cable real quick. Just to clean up the cable a little bit. And yeah, the actual plug itself could use a little bit of cleaning. Perfect. All right. I'm happy with how that turned out. Probably gonna do that GameCube controller and then probably end it there because I'm getting hungry. So let me grab that. All right. I've had this GameCube controller for a very long time. I don't use it anymore, but it used to be used a lot. But it definitely needs to be cleaned because this thing is gross. So we're gonna clean it up. As you can see, as a child, I used to bite the handles of the GameCube controllers. I don't really know why, but I definitely I took a nibble out of it, especially on this side. I don't really see it over here, but yeah, that is gross. So whatever. Let's clean this guy up. There, yeah, you can see the inside of this is so bad. God. Okay, I'm excited to clean this up because this has been dirty for a long time. I'm just gonna spray the controller directly, honestly. And spray a little bit on the brush itself. I'm really gonna get in there. And this one actually was not originally mine. This was originally my cousin's, and he handed it down to me. So not all of this grossness is mine, although definitely some of it is. All right, let's see how we're doing on the front, just from that first go. Nothing's gonna stop that control stick from being this color, but it'll be clean, which is the good part. Yeah, what a difference that's already made. That's a crazy difference. Yeah, that's a crazy difference. All right, still a lot to go though. There's a lot of just like grossness right on the edge of the rubber and the plastic. Trying to do that in a way that didn't damage it. I think I did a little bit, but it's not the greatest controller in the world to begin with. But hey, it's better than it was. All right, let me see if I can do something with this. There's shit on this that I feel like should be coming off. But I guess that's just really on there. Yeah, there's nothing I can do to get that off. I have thought about getting like replacement caps for my sticks, but just from everything I've read, there isn't really anything that feels super close to OEM, which does turn me off from doing that. But I don't know. There we go. If you knew anything about the GameCube, you know that it gets super dirty under the control stick. All right, I think that's about as good as I can do for the front part. Might be able to do a little bit more on the hard plastic of the control stick, but other than that, yeah. There we go. Dry that off and blow it out. And then we'll move on to a different part. little bit of a wiggly thumbstick, you know. I don't know how easy that is to fix. Probably isn't worth it, but whatever. All right. Maybe if I make this more of a habit, I'll get like a GoPro or something and have it head mounted instead of the one camera angle. I don't know if that would be better or not, but it might be. I'm actually going to go through with the pick first. I'm a little scared of this, but gross. Oh, so gross. dude, the shit here is just going to dust. That's crazy. I've never seen that happen before. Go through with the brush. Hi, Charlie. Okay. All right. That actually came out better again than I thought it would. This controller is really coming along. Like I really didn't think I was going to be able to get it that clean, but honestly, like I don't think I would think too much about giving this to someone to play, other than this control stick, which maybe I'll swap it out, you know, whatever. But it's not that bad. You know. Okay. All right. Yeah, there's still some shit where these screws are. Cool. Cool. All right, well, I feel pretty good about that. I think that is a job well done. I mean, the before and after on that is crazy. I'll post a picture of that, I guess, somewhere. Because yeah, that was a crazy before and after there. So, well, thank you for tuning in to the stream. I am gonna go eat something and wash my hands probably. So yeah, thank you again for watching. I'm gonna go over to my other computer and end the stream, but again, thank you for watching. Goodbye.